guys, if anybody's watching this. First off, I want to apologize. I got my channel going pretty good and was doing a lot of stuff and getting a lot of comments. But then I was in financial trouble. You know, you retire, you don't make money, prices go up. So I took a job. I went to work at a golf course as a head mechanic, and I was doing all the repairs on the machines, a lot of other stuff, ordering parts, running a crew, and you know, it's a good job, paid enough. But the problem that occurred is I got fired. And that was less than a year ago. I've been struggling ever since. A little background. I'll be 70 this year. So 69-year-old working hard and my whole life. I've had exposure to pretty toxic stuff way in the past, in the 70s. I was never in the military, but that doesn't mean I wasn't over there. I was a contractor. And I got doused with Agent Orange and parathion and malathion and all kinds of other stuff. All my life I was wondering if I was going to get a cancer or whatever. I've dodged the bullet. I had skin cancer one right here, but no reoccurrence. So I'm a survivor. But between the chemical exposure, being dropped on my head a couple times, beat the fuck up about 100 times, blew my knee out, blew my back out, moving engines, and my neck's twisted, and the result is I have neuropathy that goes down my legs. And as long as I'm moving around and working, I never notice it. It might be a twinge. The problem comes when I go to bed. So when I try to go to sleep during the night, even when I'm still awake, these pains start shooting and going crazy. And I tried everything. The neurologist has got me on a pill that's supposed to fix that. It doesn't work. I refuse to take any kind of opioids. For one, the only time they've ever worked is when I'm in severe pain in a hospital and they dose me. You know, I got blown up once and I noticed it worked. But the pills, all they do is make me sick. So in Arizona, cannabis is legal for recreational use, but it's also been legal a lot longer for medicinal use. And I went and tried some gummies to see if they help me sleep, and let me tell you, it's unbelievable how good it works. So I don't know if it's that it makes me sleep so hard I don't feel the pain, or if it's taking the pain away. It doesn't matter to me. I get a full night's sleep. So therein lies the problem. The golf course I was working at is the Cocopah Bend RV and Golf Resort, which is Indian land here in Yuma. And they've got a RV park and a golf course. And that's where I worked. Well, when you're on a reservation, the laws and rules and covenants of the reservation is different than in the state of Arizona. You know, I could walk 50 feet and be in Arizona and 50 feet and be on Cocopah land. The Cocopahs absolutely will not allow anybody to work there if they use narcotics, and cannabis is one of them. It's not worth arguing about it. I knew that it was that way. I spent a month getting clean before I got hired and lost a lot of sleep. But I passed the test, went to work, and then, you know, over a year later, there was a random UA and I popped and they fired me. So what I did after getting fired is I turned around and created an LLC. That's a mobile maintenance company. Got all the paperwork, got the license, the business license, insurance, the corporate tax return in for all that stuff, and turned around and went back to the golf course where the manager is and offered to work for him as a contractor. And they were extraordinarily happy. In fact, they had been bugging me to do it. First they said you can reapply in 6 months. And I said, well, I'm not going to reapply unless they agree that somebody like me with a medical license that's using a tiny dosage at night, technically it's cannabis and technically it's against the law, but you know, anyway, they won't budge. So now my son and I have a company, KC Services Yuma, and we go to the golf course and fix equipment and operate machinery. We're trained to apply fertilizers and pesticides. And one of the last things I did when I was working there, I took a really old Toro spray rig. It's like a little truck with a tank and it sprays. But it was all tore up. It didn't work. It ran, it drove, but it wouldn't spray. Everything was screwed up. So I stripped it down and put all new equipment, a brand new pump, gas-powered pump, and all the sprays, hooked them all up to electronic switches so the driver could push a button and turn the sprayers on and off. So that's what we run. I know this is long-winded, but just wanted to fill you in. I have my hands full. I still have my hands full. So I just thinking about it a long time, I decided I need to go back and start doing content. And gosh, I'm so sorry for the long hiatus. It's I'm not making excuses. No excuses. Just like everything, my attitude is when something goes wrong, the first thing to do is take responsibility for it. You know, it's easier to fix the problem than fix the blame. So anyway, I'm doing that on the side, but I got time to do this. I want to start again. And here's the project that I'm working on. Let's see, looks like my remote turned off. Looks like it's still going. This, if you look at this, you're going to say, it looks kind of like a Maglite, you know, Maglite flashlight. But if I can unscrew it again, yeah. So see the end? Got a little hole. See the other end? Got a little hole. I don't know what's going on my other hole. That's because this is a suppressor for one of my rifles. And I'm going to say right off the outset, I have a tax stamp for this suppressor. I didn't buy one from some gun store. I petitioned for a tax stamp so I can make my own. And it's pretty much the same process. You got to get references. You got to go find the head law enforcement officer in your county, which in this is Yuma County Sheriff's Department, and get them to sign off on you. You know, they do a background investigation, whatever, sign off on you to get this thing, and then you pay a horrendous amount of money. I think it was like $500, $400, something like that. Anyway, I have this little part, which is an initiator for it, you know, and redirects the exhaust or the expanding gases, but the rest I needed. They're gone now. I tried one where you get a bunch of freeze plugs for a car and drill a hole in them, you know, punch them so they're coned out a little bit, and then drill a hole the size of the bullet, and you stack them up. They kind of worked, but the problem is that the aluminum would expand at a different rate than those steel things, and then they'd get loose. If I'm shooting several, you know, after shooting a little bit, the aluminum would expand a hair, then they're kind of loose in there, they'd shake around, and then the bullets would clip them on the way through. It's just a bad idea. So I got this. Hold on. So yeah, this 2-inch piece of aluminum stock I had. And I turned this thing down on the lathe to where when it's cold, it just slides in there. You can barely hear any kind of movement. And what I'm gonna do is chuck this on the mill, because I have a mill with a adjustable chuck that I can lay horizontal or vertical, and then I can turn it and index it. I can turn it to get any number of degrees of rotation, and I'm going to go through and mill out cavities to make this into the guts of the suppressor. And so that's what I'm going to do. So what did I do with that other part? Somebody might be saying, a suppressor for what? You know, usually people say, you're going to get a suppressor, what do you want it for? And what on earth could you do with one this big? I chose this one because I had it. And it's an old D mod, you know, it had 4 D batteries. But with all the steel in there, it gets heavy. Even right now, it's a little heavy until I take as much aluminum off as I can. I might show you that gun later, but just for anybody that's interested, it's a 400 Blackout, which is it's a variation on an AR frame. It's an AR 15 frame. The gun I built, you know, I've got all the parts, put it together, and it's a nice gun. The ammunition for it, when you buy it, it's got special ammunition. Typically, these guns are designed to have a suppressor, and you shoot like subsonic ammunition so that you can barely hear it. Now, when I ran this one before, it sounded like a .22 rifle firing, and that gun's loud. So it works, but that 400 Blackout, if you load your own ammunition, you have to take a 223 case, cut it down, reform it into the correct size to accept a 308 projectile, 30 caliber. And so I've loaded a lot of bullets for it, and I've shot a lot of bullets. So anyway, keep this short, where am I at? See if I can find out. 12 minutes, 13 minutes. That's what's going to go on. The next video coming out will be me making this thing, and from then on, I'm going to try and do more content. I'm just never going to be the kind of guy that can put out one every day. One every week is tough, but bear with me, guys. I sure appreciate everybody that's looked at my videos, and there's a lot of them. I think I got 57,000 views on one of them, so cool. Anyhow, that's the end of the story. Stand by.